Hi everybody, welcome to the Strapi 5 React Router version 7 full stack course. So in this course, what I'm going to show you is what the goal of the course is, and then what this course is not about, some prerequisites that you already need to have, something specific to my system, and then we'll go through some website examples, and then we'll learn what this course we're going to learn in this course and some notes, and then seriously don't forget to like and subscribe and ask questions in the comments. All right, so the goals are I'm not going to do a lot of edits in this course. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to show you how to solve problems if you're stuck with errors. You can follow me through and see how I solve the problem. So I don't want to make you left behind and make you feel like make you feel overwhelmed with code, things like that. Another thing is we're gonna make this to an SSG where the data is gonna get queried during build time, and then um, what SSG helps with that is the site is static, so all the data is already present when the website is built. So based on that, we can have even faster page loads. It's not server side rendered at all. So that means we can set up a CDN in front. So that's the go. That's the advantage of SSG. And then we're gonna learn about React Router and Strapi 5 as well, and how to do deployment in production and things like that. All right. So what this course is not about, we're not gonna learn about SEO. We're not learn about like meta tags, things like that. And then we're not gonna do CDN setup. We're not gonna teach you how to set up CDN things like that. It basically depends on how many likes I get and comments and people are interested. Maybe once the course is done, I can create another video and show you how to set up the CDN. And then in this course, we're gonna use AI less, but we're gonna use AI for sure. But I just want to teach you and make you understand how things works. That's the goal. You just tell everything to the AI to do this and that. So in the end, nobody understands anything. So another thing is prerequisites. You need to get these things installed. Can install Node.js for sure, and then after that, npm should be working. And I like to use Yarn than npm, so I'll be using Yarn in this particular project. And then you can also have Git installed, so when any code changes happens, you can see what code has changed. And then something specific to my system is I use Oh My Fish. And then if you see autocompletes and colored on text, that's because I'm using Oh My Fish. And then for Node.js, you can, rather than installing Node.js directly, you can use something called Node Version Manager, NVM, and then you can get a Node installed with that, the latest version of Node with Node Version Manager. And then I'm using NVM through Oh My Fish plugin. You don't necessarily have to install Oh My Fish. You can just do Node Version Manager. I just search it on GitHub. Something specific to my machine is I use Linux and Mint. I'm not using a MacBook or a PC. I'm using Linux Mint. And then let's go to check out a website as an example. So here in this website, this is a blog post. You can see a lot of posts happening here in this blog post. A lot of text, and you click on this post here, you can see the text here, and then the person who's written the text, things like that. So here, if you may understand, if you try to refresh, it's very fast. The loading happens instantaneously. That's because the data, the text has already been queried during the build time, and then this is a static site actually. The text already exists in the site. So what happens is whenever, uh, and most probably, the CDN would be actually sitting in front. So whenever I query this particular website, it goes to the CDN and then it gets the data. So it's damn fast. So if you need to make that happen, you need to set it up in SSG. If you set it up in SSG, what happens is all the static site, SSG stands for static site generation. So anything related to um, building sites dynamically during build time, to get the data, we need to set up SSG. So once we're doing that, you'll understand how it works. All right, and then we saw the example. I just want to show you a couple of more things what we can do, how to set up Strapi and make it even more dynamic. We can actually have this landing page copy change. If you change something in Strapi or the CMS, the copy changes. You have all these images set up, the text set up here, anything relate, anything in any text that you see, all these images that you see, we can actually change it on Strapi itself. If you want to go even more advanced, we can actually have all these nav bar set up, these nav links set up inside Strapi itself. I can do that based on the public interest. People are showing interest. If they want to see blog posts happen, maybe dynamic nav bar items happening, things like that. And then in this course, we're going to learn about setting up Strapi, setting up React Router 7, connecting Strapi and GraphQL with React Router. And then in the end, we're going to do some deployment. If you're interested, if you are, the basic thing that we're going to do is we're going to show a landing page that gets text dynamically through Strapi. If you're really interested and if there is interest in the comments and likes, I can show you how blog posts are rendered and then we can make the nav bar also even more dynamic coming through Strapi. Some notes is you're going to learn a lot about databases, learn how to deploy, learn about GraphQL, how to query data with GraphQL in React Router, and then you learn about setting up API tokens and all that jazz. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and add some comments, ask a question. I'm there ready to help you. And then if you think this video helps with someone in your friends group or things like that, please don't forget to share it. All right, let's go ahead and start with setting up Strapi. I'm just going to go to my documents folder here and then go to YouTube. So there's an empty folder here. I'll just go to, I'll close this tab here and then let's just go to setup Strapi. I'm just going to type Strapi on Google search, scroll down, get the GitHub, and then once this GitHub loads, I'm going to scroll down here and see how to set up Strapi. So here you can see it says you can do it through yarn and npx. So I'm just going to copy this npx here, and then if you scroll down, it says you can set up through PostgreSQL, MySQL, SQLite, all these databases are supported. So we're gonna basically follow PostgreSQL database for our particular tutorial course here. All right. Let's just go back here and then I'm gonna open my terminal in this particular folder. You can see here /YouTube. This is the folder. I'm gonna paste this. All right. It's asking me for a name. I'm gonna call it Strapi. And then it's asking me to sign up. I'm gonna skip for now. It's asking me, do you want SQLite as database? I'm gonna say no. And I'm gonna select Postgres as my database. I'm gonna call the database name as Strapi local. So another thing to note is I'm gonna open this terminal here again. And then once you install PostgreSQL, one second. So once you install PostgreSQL, what you can do is you can create a database, then create database, already created a database, Strapi, right? So I'm just gonna mention the name of that database here, right? And then if because it's a local database, I'm just gonna let it be host. Port is local, it's a local port address. I'm gonna add my database username and password. So all these things happens when you set up PostgreSQL in a system. So you need all that, remember. And then I'm gonna say no for SSL because local setup. Only during production we're gonna change this. And then I'm gonna say start with an example structure. We're gonna say yes to show you some Strapi examples. And then for sure TypeScript, and then install npm. I'm gonna say no because I'll be using yarn as my package manager. Git, for sure, we'll have a Git, and then a no for any data being sent to Strapi. All right, let's open this particular project up. I'm gonna open this up in Visual Studio Code. You can use a cursor or windsurf or anything like that, but I'm gonna use Visual Studio Code because I like it more. And then for if you're wondering like, are you not gonna use AI or anything like that? I am actually having this agent on the side. If you click here, this button, um, agent on the side, I can use this agent. It's called code. Uh, it's from Microsoft Copilot. Yeah, so that's what it is called. Right, you can set that up. Okay, so if you go here, you can see the package or JSON file, everything is set up. So you might be wondering, okay, let's just start saying yarn to install the packages because as you remembered, npm, we're asking the question npm and I said no. But another thing you might have noticed is I use yarn version 4. If I say yarn here, it says version 1. So I need to stop that and say yarn set version stable to make it version 4 for this particular project. All right. So if you go to package or JSON file here again, if you scroll down, it says version 4 here. Now I'm going to say yarn, and then you can see a yarn.log file getting installed. So this is how you know um, version 4 happened. And then also there's a pnp.cjs file that got loaded. So this is specific to version 4. So what we need is actually uh, something related to Yarn version 4 is that it does not use node modules. It uses PNP files to load the data, load the libraries. So we're gonna go back using node modules. So to make that happen, you can say dot yarn rc dot yaml. So this is a configuration file for yarn itself. I can just say here node linker and then node module. I specify it as node modules. And if I rerun yarn again, you can see this pnp.cgs file vanishing because I'm using node module. Yeah, I've actually misspelled node modules there. It should be like that, right? It's reinstalling all the packages, firing node modules, and then you can see pnp.js has vanished. Now, if I go back to package.json file, and then I can see how I can set up Strapi. It just says Strapi develop. I'll just say yarn dev, and then that is it. It just started. So now it went to my browser, and then it's asking me for my name. I'll say Afi, my name, my email, and then just type in a password, and then let's just say let's start. Now I'm logged in actually. So here let's just go through Strapi. Go to Content Manager. You can see all these particular types here: article, author, category. Then you can go to media library. These are the media places. Go to content type builder. Here you can see the same thing: article, author, category. That is reflected. That's already here with users as well, about and global. And then we can go to like deployment. You can deploy Strapi in Strapi's cloud itself. And then there's marketplaces, things you can install, and then settings. So just want to show you that the content type builder. So we're gonna specify or just like we're gonna concentrate on a landing page. We don't need all this. So this would be specific to blog post. So we could have an article here, an author is linked to an article here, Here it has a relation with many to one, and then each article has its own categories. So here you can see it has a relation with articles, and you can have category names and then usernames. And then these are single types where you can have a title and particular blocks like media, and then there's global. So I'm just going to delete this particular about type and also delete global as well. And then I'll just delete article. I'm just going to delete everything, and then we'll have a very simple scene instant of Strapi. We can start from scratch and build from that. So we're not confused how things work. All right. And then I'm going to click save, and everything is going to get deleted. All right. Beautiful. So now I have deleted everything. So once you've deleted everything, you might have understood is this, where you can delete all these stuff as well. To delete that, we don't need anything. We don't need any components. Let's save. We go here, it's just one single instance called user. We need that for sure because Strapi is using it to know like which user is basically using the admin panel need to know like if I'm signed in or not. You can't delete this actually. And then if you go here to content manager, nothing exists. Everything is deleted, nothing really is here. So we're gonna start from scratch. So let's say what our goal is. Our goal is so basically we went to this website. Remember Mailmodo? I said you can have this dynamic landing page with all these texts. So rather than having a collection type, we're gonna say a single type. You're gonna call it landing page, right? And then continue. One second. Sorry about that. We're gonna continue, and then we can have a text. We call it heading, header. Let it be a short text, and then finish. Done. Click save. All right, and then you can actually go to Content Manager, landing page. You can actually add something like this. We copy this text here and paste, and press save and publish, and it's done. It's saved. It's published. This is the particular text that exists in landing page with the header. So if you want to have like even more text, let's say this is the heading text that we added, say subheading. All right. Let's go here. Let's press on another field. We'll say text. We're gonna say long text. Call this subheading. Then press finish. Click save. All right. And then once it's saved, I'm gonna go here to content manager, landing page, subheading. I'm gonna paste this text that we copied from here and then press publish. Now we have this header text and subheading text. I want to do some edits like remove this particular period. Press publish again. The text period has moved. Yeah. Let I'm gonna publish this again and it's done. This is where the landing page, header and subheading happens. The next goal is actually trying to get this particular data from the heading and subheading and then render it in React in our landing page. All right. So let's just go here. We just set up Strapi, and then thing we set up was landing page type, header, and subheading text. We just finished all this. Now let's just go to set up React Router version 7. Let's go here, type in reactrouter.com. This is the website. Let's go to docs. And then you might be confused with all these particular things here. So there is particular modes available in React Router. There's framework mode, there's data mode, and there's declarative mode. So basically, I've never used data mode nor I've used declarative mode. I've always stuck with framework mode because it is more. Uh, it gives you the full React Router experience, and that is what I want. And another thing is I can set up SSG with this, so I can have the full control of this particular framework through framework mode. So to install that, let's just start with this npx and copy, go back to my folder here. All right, I'm gonna create a terminal in this particular YouTube folder, paste it, and I'm gonna call this as a website. I'm gonna say yes to Git repository, and then I'm gonna say no to npm. That's because I'll be using yarn. Just for the sake of this particular tutorial, I'm gonna create a new folder and call this Strapi React Router course. So this website and the Strapi belongs to a single folder. Not sure why. I delete that. All right. So I have this here and then this here. All right. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open website in Visual Studio Code. Great stuff. Similarly, I'm just gonna say go to package or JSON. I need to say dev. Before that, I need to install the packages. Before that, it needs to be a yarn version 4. I'm gonna start with yarn set version stable to make it yarn version 4. Now I know it's version 4 here. Go to package manager, you can see the changes. And then I'm gonna say yarn, and then you might have understood it goes to pnpm cjs. I don't want that. I'm gonna create a new file. I'm using this command called touch. I can create a new file here and then say node linker node modules. So you can actually learn more about this yarn rc file if you go to yarn website and then see how to configure the configuration yarn rc. So you just go there and then you learn how to do the configuration. Let's just click here and see here. So if you go to node linker, um, it's default to PNPM. I can actually change it to node modules if I set it to node module. Yeah. So Yarn won't create self-referencing symlinks when using node linker node modules. You can store it in the workspace basis. So that is what I'm trying to do. All right. I'm gonna delete this and then say yarn again. Just 1 second. I am back. So yeah, press yarn again and then that call installed. It's now to yarn react router tab, and then it got started. Let's just pick this thing and you can see yarn react router. This is beautiful. So another specific thing about React Router is you can actually go to route modules and see how you can set up the routes. So the routes is essentially in default. Uh, I just want to tell you something. So during default, the routes are. Oh my god! I think I can type it here. Maybe. Okay, let's just go here and see. So during default phase, the routes are actually nested files. So I don't want nested file systems. What I want is I need route files. All right. So basically, I can show the nesting of each um, routes through just the file name. So here you can see in the routes, there's home, and then maybe inside home. If you want to have another route, you can have it inside. I don't want all that. So let's say if I want a route inside home, I just say home dot another route name rather than creating a new folder inside home itself. So that's the goal. So to make that happen, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you how to make it happen. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use flat routes. Okay, sure. Is it particularly? It should be in this particular menu called routing. I'm sorry about that. So flat routes. So this is how you install flat routes. All right. So what I'm gonna do is, so here you can see package for flat system routing convention. You click on that. I'll teach you how it works. So I can have index in about basic route works like this, and then I can have flat route seeing. So this trending page is actually inside concerts. Salt Lake is actually inside concerts. About page is a different route. This is actually inside the concert route. San Diego's inside concert route. It's much easier to read and understand where the route is coming from, rather than having trending Salt Lake and San Diego as in another folder inside concerts itself. I don't want that. I just need to see it as a file. So this is much easier to read and write. And then to follow that convention, we're going to use flat routes. So we're just going to copy this. All right. Okay. And then we're going to say yarn add, paste this. And then where you specify this particular thing is we go to React router. Not here, I'm sorry. I think you should go to, yeah, if you go to the routes file under app, just go here, delete index. All right. And then we're going to copy this thing here, paste it here. Sorry, copy this, paste. And then we're going to say flat routes. And it's a function. Export default flat routes. And then that's it. Now flat route has started working. Very easy. So I'm going to delete welcome page. And then for home, there's no more home pages. So for flat routes, as I said before, we have to specify as index for the initial route. So we can say underscore index. Beautiful, right? So that is, I'm just going to remove that welcome because I just deleted the welcome component. I'm going to call this div and say hello. And then that is it. So I'm just going to say yarn dev again, restart the whole thing, visit the website and see the text hello here. Fish. That was beautiful. So next, I'm gonna go here to my chat Copilot. Just say create me a landing page with uh, give me a landing page uh for landing page with this. Create me a landing page for a marketing um, marketing for a real estate website. Let's just do that. I'm gonna see in my index page. So it's gonna create a real estate landing page website in my index page. So we don't have to create our own components and things like that. And then beautiful thing about React Router is it comes baked in with Tailwind CSS. You go here to React Router config. Wait a minute. I think it's app.css. Yeah, comes with Tailwind. It's already pre-installed, so you don't have to do a lot of configuration or things like that. Just gonna tell my chat GPT here, I mean the chat surface here to generate a website for me, and then that's it. It just had created its own meta tag, it changed to things like that. And then it's telling me to install Lucid React. If we go and see what Lucid React is, it's actually a application. I mean, it's an icon library. That is what it is. So if you want to have like arrow up, gives you arrow up, arrow down, arrow left, right, all these icons. And you can just click on this and copy JSX, the name, and then you can use that here. So I'm just need to install on Lucid React, and it gets installed. This particular route is coming from home. We are not using home, we are using underscore index. So we're going to say it like that, and then that is fixed. So all the errors are fixed. The yarn dev again. Let's see what our AI has generated for us. All right, it's a particular interesting website. It has all the schedulers, then it has a search bar, right? These are images. There's a contact button, things like that. Beautiful. So our goal right now is to change this text, and it needs to come from Strapi, right? So let's start with that. We have finished creating a landing page. Now we need to connect it with Strapi. Let's just go here and finish this off setup and landing page created. Next, we need to connect Strapi GraphQL with React Router. That's the goal. So this would take a long time. So blaze yourself and see how this works. All right. So let's just close this down. We'll go to our new project, the Strapi project here. We'll open this up, and then we're gonna say yarn dev. All right. Let's just go to localhost, and then we're gonna go to settings, and we're gonna go to plugins, and then here you can see everything is just normal APIs. The things that we need is we need to talk to a backend. So I'm just gonna go to our notes section here to talk to our front end from React Router to Strapi. So Strapi needs REST API or GraphQL. Yeah, and then this needs to be exposed from Strapi, and then the React router will query the data from Strapi. And when we query, the data, uh, we need authenticated queries. So we need to set up authentication well with GraphQL. All right. So whenever we query the data from the front end to the back end, Strapi needs to know if it's coming from a front end, if it's valid, and not some other website trying to query the data. We need to have authentication for that. That is what it is. All right, let's just go back to Strapi here. I'm going to close all these things. Just going to concentrate on here. Let me go to Marketplace and say GraphQL. All right. Okay. If you go to the Marketplace and then we need to set up GraphQL for Strapi, it's very easy. You just have to copy this install command, click on more here, and then scroll down. I think you just have to install it like that and it's done. I'm just going to copy this and close this down and then paste it here. And then say yarn dev. Okay, open this thing again. All right, let's just go to settings, see plugins. All right, GraphQL is working. So now you'll be wondering, okay, how do I see GraphQL working? So what you could do is, you can just delete this, the GraphQL. So you might be wondering, like, where did I get this particular dash GraphQL thing happen? How did I understand all that? So this basically comes from a lot of experience that I had before. And then if you're like a beginner, what you could do is you can say Strapi, go to expose QL, something like that. And then you can just go to the documentation and read about it. Here it says accessible slash GraphQL URL. And then you can change the endpoint name from here, from the exports plugin.ts exports file. You can also do that. And then these are the particular queries that is getting exports through Strapi. So if you go here, you can see all these things are getting exposed. These are the things we are able to query. And as you can see, there's a thing called landing page. That is what we have created before, if you remember. And then this landing page has header and subheading. You can say header, subheading, then maybe create a rat, and then click play. There's a response. It's actually forbidden now because the authentication is wrong. Because if it says forbidden, because we don't have access to, because it's a landing page, what we could do is we can do a few things. Landing page can keep the landing page GraphQL public, so no authentication, or have it authenticate. I'm going to show you how to make this public first. And then when we run the query again, we'll get the data. So it's very easy to do. To make this public, what we're going to do is go to roles, go public landing page, and select all. That is it. Let's play again. And here we go. We get the data email automation as easy as texting. That is what we have installed. So the way we did that is by going to roles and then going to the public and setting up landing pages. Find, we can remove delete, we can remove update. I'm gonna save find. So during query process, hold on one second. Hi, I just wanna clear my throat. I'm sorry about that. During the query process, uh, it just queries the data. See? And for the public routes, I'm not able to delete or update. I just can do a find query. So another thing is you might be wondering, okay, let's just do authenticated routes. If I save this here again, try to query, it is not authenticated. So let's go here and say, okay, let's just do find. Let's save authenticated user, right? Click, do this again. It's not working because if in the authenticated section, we said we do need landing page. It needs to happen find. Find needs to happen, and still we are not getting the data because we are not authenticated. So to get the authentication, we need to go here, API tokens. Okay. So we have this full access token and read only token. We're not gonna update anything with our website. We're just gonna read. So we just need the read only token. We're gonna regenerate this token again, and then we're gonna get this token. We got this token now. All right. So see, we can do find in this particular read only. All these things we can do find. Now what we have to do is we have to go back, Topolo server, new header, and then we can just check Strapi GraphQL authentication header. Just check what we need to add. Just need to say authorization, bearer, and the token name. All right, that is it. We just need to add that in the header. Pull this up. The authorization, bearer, BARER, and then the token. And then we're gonna press this. See, we get the data because we are authenticated. So whenever we are building the website, we're gonna add this particular header with this token, and then it's gonna query Strapi, and we're gonna get the data. That is it. That's how we authenticate Strapi from a front end. Nobody, if you give this token away, that is how people will know, like, will get the data from you. So if you have somehow, so the place where the the, the particular place where you add this particular tokens are added in environment variables, right? You must be wondering what is environment variable. So let's say when Strapi is getting built and deployed in any particular server, the no, I'm not talking about Strapi. Sorry, when I say I'm talking about sorry, not about Strapi. When I say talking about the website. So when the website is getting built and deployed, say we are using Vercel, maybe using S3 buckets. That's getting built and deployed. During the build time, we can actually tell the builder to only use the API tokens through the environment variable. Right? We can have we can have the token set to environment variable during build process, and then after the website is built, the token is not used anymore. So two places we can use n variable is during build time and then during server side rendering. So if you add places, you should not add places you should not add environment variables is client side rendering. So here, even if you say after the build time, the site gets generated, right? Yeah, this is where all the data, all the text is shown, right? Text is shown, and then during when you retrieve the data during the build time, the text is shown. Your tokens are also shown. So that is why we add the token during the build time in the environment variable, or it doesn't necessarily need to be an environment variable. You can hard code it also, because during the build time, it'll just stay in the CI/CD or in your system itself, and then the site gets generated. The token is not exposed. And the server side rendering also, the token is staying in environment variable and it's not going to the client side. Any particular token, if it goes to the client side, it gets exposed. So you should think about that. There's no point of setting up a token in the client side, even if it's rendering in the client side. It'll always get exposed, and someone will always query your data, hack your particular server. There's no point of that. You should always think about, can I not expose my token? Can it be hidden in my particular system? Can I get it through in my server side rendering because server connects to my particular machine? Is it happening through build time? It's not getting queried and showed in my client side? Just remember all that. Or like, just one second. Let me just clear my throat. Okay. So what we're gonna do next is, as I said, um, we just learned about authentication. Now we also learned about GraphQL, right? Now we need to query this particular GraphQL in a front end to get the data. So there's a lot of let's just go here to, this is a Strapi. Open the other. I'm going to open the other VS Code which has um, React router setup. So in the index file, we have all this. So you might be wondering, how can we query the data? Let's just go here, Strapi 5. The goal is to connect Strapi GraphQL with React router. All right. So to do that, let's uh, let's let's get some help with GraphQL code generators. So let's just type in GraphQL code generator. A lot of code generators that help us to query the data. And go here, say GraphQL code gen, click start, and then we need to set this up. Go to installation. First of all, we need to add GraphQL and then say GraphQL code gen CLI. It, you must be wondering, why are we using GraphQL code generator? So as you can see here in Apollo, we need to write this query: project landing page header subheading redirect. And then once we write this particular query, we need to send this query with the header, and then we're going to send this to Strapi. So how we're going to do that is we're going to use something called GraphQL request to make that happen. So GraphQL request is a tool that will make this happen very easily. So it's now it's called graph. All right. We can actually go to graphl.js for help to see how we can install it. Anyways, we can actually get this working through CodeGen itself. All right, that is done. And now we're gonna click on guides, and then you can scroll down here and see all these particular techniques we can query the data. Let's just go here. Okay, let's just follow this wizard first. All right, we're gonna do npx code generator init. We're gonna say application using GraphQL request. We use that. So where is your schema? Schema is available in it's here. There is your operation and fragments. So we're gonna add it in app slash app slash just create folder called GraphQL. All right. Where we're gonna write outputs. We're gonna say app slash underscore GraphQL. So this is how we'll define we have outputs. Or we just we can actually have it the app itself. Okay, yeah, what I meant. You want to generate an introspection file? Maybe say yes. Config file for sure. CodeGen. Script packages should run the CodeGen for sure. And then that's it. It's gonna help us create the CodeGen file. Here you can see the CodeGen file has been created. And then you can see client generates the output generates here. The schema file introspection is happening. All that jazz. Great stuff. So we need to write this query, right? This query needs to be written. So we're gonna say landing page dot GraphQL and paste this query. Very easy. And then we need to codegen this particular query. We're gonna say yarn codegen. Okay. So there's a lot of errors happening. Let's try to fix these errors. So let's just start with this error. Schema localhost. Gosh, I think I should remove that. Oh yeah, I think schema. So here root. Okay, let's just say happy GraphQL. So the goal is actually we need to generate, need to get the schema. So I'm wondering, can we generate the schema this, or can we get the schema somehow? I just don't remember. So here the endpoint is GraphQL. Schema definition. Right? Can we see introspection schema is here? So let me say because of that. All right. So pass configuration has been passed. I just had to show the documents where the current document was. It's actually here. I forgot to specify GraphQL here in the end. And then now it says generation has failed because loading schema did not work. Okay, so is there a way we can just copy this schema, right? And so should we say introspection first? I don't think we need to say app search. We don't necessarily need to call this. We don't necessarily need to call this a GraphQL. We can say GQL. Gonna work. And then we're just gonna go 1 second. My throat is. Yeah. So we're just gonna do that and then rerun. Hopefully schema works. All right, it's working. So do we think? Okay, we need to change this to GQL. Okay, it's partially working now. Um, underscore GraphQL generate to apps. Okay, so needs to be like this. What does that mean? Post slash GraphQL. Generate output, generate to app slash I'm very confused. So we copy pasted the key schema here rather than introspection. We're gonna get the documents from here. Alright, maybe I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna call this well, right? I'm gonna put this as documents and then put this here, then put this here like that, and then rename this to GraphQL. Then we're gonna go to CodeGen here again and then change app slash GraphQL slash document slash. Then we'll get the schema like that, right? Okay, client preset. So preset is client, so that's an issue, I guess. So why did I'm not sure why did GraphQL change? GraphQL request has been changed now to GraphQL. That's a sad part. Why did they change the name? Alright, anything. And by the way, what I want to do is fix this generation thing, this client preset. So I'm not sure what does client preset mean. So okay, so this try here GraphQL request this is the plugin that we need actually. Generates path to file and then plugin, right? I don't think we need any presets. Not sure if that's an issue. All right. Okay, so okay, so we just need to install all these things, right? We need to install operations. It's just operations. All right, done. So let's try to cogen again. Plugin validation failed for this particular request. Why would that be? No idea. In order to plug in, make sure the GraphQL operation query mutates subscript fragment set to documents. Without loading GraphQL query, you won't see any change. Again, this read SDK carefully typed. This is what we need. Anyways, alright, so let me plugin TypeScript graphical request validation failed. TypeScript graphical request extends to be.ts. Okay, so oh yeah, so we need to change this to ts. Then need to be like this. So that is how it needs to be. So now we need to change. Oh yeah, development, I guess. Solar documentation, landing page, header, subheading, query landing, landing. Header, do that. Okay, now the issue is it says I can't find type definition. Yeah. Okay, so let's say TS. Okay, you can't say landing. Okay, let me just copy that, then change this to landing page. Delete this. Do we delete that? If that works. It still says .ts, .mts or cts. Okay, maybe we need to export. Okay, default. Okay, so I'm gonna call defeat and then check my old project file. This is what everybody does to figure myself out. How the hell did I make that happen? Then I'm just gonna go here, go gen So this is the particular, what is it? So this is a schema. Here we can have that. The queries goes here, it's the, and then it generates GraphQL types. Then we have this particular plugin, config endpoint and the authorization in schema.json inspection. There is no schema. Oh wow, is it because when I did introspection, the authorization was not added? Oh, must be that. All right, let's just go back here. I'm gonna move this to here. We don't need schema.graphql file section. Don't need this also. Say changes to landing page itself. Delete all that. Copy this. Copy paste. So it's very simple now. It says GraphQL queries, code gen, and then we're just gonna go back here and copy paste the whole thing and paste. Right now for the token, what we're gonna do is we're gonna get the token here. We have the token on it. Yeah, we need to restart server again. Okay, let's restart, refresh, get the token. Okay, we can view token. We copy, and then let's just go to a project. Just delete this. Close that. Go to config. Go to config.json, and then add the pair token key paste, and similarly do this here. Alright, so you must be wondering what was happening. So basically, before what we did was like we had that introspection generated, right? It was showing introspection, but when the schema was trying to authenticate, we forgot about authentication, and it was not working. And what I did was to override that. I actually deleted this thing and then said you can get the schema through a file. I just copy pasted that. So I deleted that again and I'm adding this authorization header. Now it work. Now we're getting the document from queries, apps GraphQL queries, and then it ends with uh, the GraphQL. Well, can have multiple folders as well. And then we're going to generate the types in under this folder called types. Get the types. We can add the scalars. We can the types endpoint is here. The authorization and anything specific to this particular GraphQL request. Changing enum as const and then config. So when you generate, most probably config won't exist, right? We're just gonna do this. Let's see what happens. Okay, we need to specify where the codes and file. We're just gonna move this here itself. We don't want that. See, it's generated without any particular, what do you say, config. So we can have these configurations. If you go to graphical request, what was that? Yeah, if you go here, you can see all these configurations that it will allow us to do. This is what I've done actually. Yeah, and I can do all these things, um, experimental fragments, fixed scalars, then scalar type. That's what I did. Then uppercase, all these naming conventions, typefix usages, usage example. That is what I did. So from the code, you can just copy paste this config, and then not sure what does endpoint mean. Yeah, I don't think we need this endpoint, do we? Then we run the code gen again without the. Yeah, this does not make any sense. All right, and then we skipped. We are setting a naming convention like that, this and that. So you must be wondering, what the hell is this? What am I trying to do code generation of? So we are actually using GraphQL request to request data from uh, yeah, we're actually gonna use GraphQL request. This is how we can do the request, and then we're gonna pass it. We're gonna use the request particular thing, request method. We're gonna pass the API here. We're gonna pass the query, and then we get the data. So we need to get the data in the server side. That's what we're trying to do. So we generated an SDK. So here you can see the request is there, and then we need to create a new client with the endpoint. And with the client, and I can pass the query and the variables, I can get the data. These are the two ways we can run it. So this is one of the ways, or this is one of the ways. So all this thing that is actually what happened was, like with CodeGen, you go to the type section, everything has been generated for us. All the particular endpoints. So let's say if you go to landing page, you can see the variables, you can see the type name, yeah, and then we have the header and subheading. It's all available for us as types. Okay, we're gonna use that. Remove this thing, call it, yeah. I think there's small bug fix over here that need to happen. You need to change it to a type request to make that work. All right, now we need to create a client. Yeah, and then we can say SDK, get SDK, see, yeah. So what are all the things that is available to us? Just the SDK is equal to get SDK, get the SDK client. All right, so we need to get the client, create a new client. Just do that and put that in. This is the endpoint. can add the headers as well. Sure, if this copy this particular token here, paste that, and then done. The client has been created. Now we're gonna export SDK is equal to get SDK, pass in it. I think that's it, right? We just have to, yeah, set a function wrap for here. Done. So we just passed in the SDK, we get the SDK and it's done. Now we just have to query particular routes from the index file. So, so to get the data, so you might have noticed if you go to routes, you can see where was that? Tag router config, server-side rendering. So beauty of that is we can do the rendering from the server, we can get the data from the server. So I'm just gonna say export loader. Is it L2? So there's a small hack that I use. It's called to create loaders like that. I follow this. Where is it? It's called framework snippets. So I need to create a loader LD. That's it. So LD. Oh my God, everything is coming from Lucid React. So I'm just gonna say export function loader. That's it. Yeah. So we can have a request coming from here. So const, what is it? Landing page SDK. No variables. Okay. And then we're gonna console.log this landing page. We're gonna use it. That's it. And then when we run this particular website, we get the landing page data most probably working. It says promise pending. We need to await this. Yeah, run it again. It says fetch failed. Okay, why did that fail? No idea. Okay, so let's try to think about that. We're getting this landing page here, and let's try to go here SDK, get SDK, and goes. So is get SDK landing page. It returns landing page. A lot of other things it returns. We can add the variables. It's asking for the document and then getting the data. It goes with the client takes the request. Am I getting the correct client here? Okay, so does this have, I'm just wondering if it has a method called request. It does have that, right? So I'm not sure why this is not working. Let's just try to go here in GraphQL request land. Okay, so we can do that. We can add variable request header. So it says we can do that with headers. And what is endpoint? Endpoint. Is the endpoint correct? Okay, let's just try to see if the endpoint is the endpoint is not correct. So basically, most of my life is fixing typos. That's what happens. So now endpoint is not correct and query data was not getting queried. Now everything is working. You get the data. See? Oh my God! I just typed in HTTPS and I just followed through all this mess. This is what usually we'll face. I think most probably AI will help us with that. Yeah. Thank God for AI. Now next, what is it? Next, we are actually getting the data. See, email. So what we need to do is we just need to render this particular data in a front end. So beauty of that is you can say header, the data dot landing page dot header, or we can just say data dot landing page, and then we're gonna spread all the things that is inside this. I don't think we need all that. Subheading, subheading, yeah, and then we're gonna query this data. So the way we get the data from a React router is const use loader data, and then we can say just say type of loader, get the data from this loader itself. We have the header and subheading. It's gonna change. What was that? Subheading. So we just did that. Now email automation as easy as texting. Pretty damn nice, right? So we just have to go here, go to content manager, just say hello world. I just connected Strapi with React router, and then this is so awesome. I'm changing text here, and then my landing page gets updated. Press publish, refresh, done. So this is what it is. It's how easy it is. But the problem here is, as you might have understood, uh, when I refresh, you can see the new queries happening here again. So we're not console logging this. Show you. So whenever I do a query, see, there's like new two more queries happening, one more query happening, another query happening. So we we need that not to happen. It needs to happen only once, and then that's it. So if you've come till here, we just learned about setting up Strapi, setting up a landing page, setting up component types. And then we're acquiring data. Now we need to learn about static site generation. Right, we just finished connecting this. Would take a long time. It did. Now we need to show content dynamically. So we're not gonna do these two things. What we're gonna do is we're gonna set up SSG, get data during build time, and show data, and then we're gonna deploy this application in production. Right? Okay, so let's just do SSG now. So to do SSG, let's just go to React Router, and then we're just gonna type in SSG and see what comes up. So where are we? So where is this? Okay, this is SSG. This is uh, so the previous page was releases page that's connected to the GitHub. So we don't really need that. We just need to learn how to set up SSG. So we're confused. That is not how it works. Can we scroll down here and see if there is SSG somewhere? This yeah, there is pre-rendering. So this is what it is. Pre-rendering or a speed up page loads for static content by rendering pages at build time instead of at runtime. Beautiful, right? So just copy this. Boolean true will not include any duplicate path. So basically, we're not gonna say SSR. We're just gonna change this to pre-rendering. True and then SSR is false. Done. That is it. That's how easy it is. Now, you must be wondering, like, you can actually have like pre-rendered pages and also server-side rendered pages. You have a dynamic as well. This is what it explains here. Then you can also have like slugs, which is pre-rendered with particular tokens here. You get the slug, yeah. And then this is like um, method finally adding all the static parts in the application. You can have if you know like certain pages are always pre-rendered and you need other pages to be not pre-rendered, you can do it like that. You can also pre-render without a runtime server. And then you can also pre-render with SSR true. We just have one particular route here called index file. So we're just gonna say pre-render. We don't need SSR or anything like that. So once you start writing files, blog posts, and then you have particular pages getting data from backend. If you have both marketing side and dynamic application, you would start using this. Or you just if you have just particular static pages, you can just use. Excuse me. Sorry about that. A lot of pausing, but I could in the nick of time. Anyways, just gonna set it pre-rendering, and then can we say yarn dev? So the thing is, when we say yarn dev, it's just gonna work like normal website. Yeah. Can we change? Say just say hello world publish. Is it? Yeah, it changes because it's just working as a server-side rendered website. So now the beauty is, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go here, and then when we say build, it's gonna get the data during the build time. Yeah. Then when we say just get the data. See, hello. So this is actually connected. This is not connected anywhere. It's just showing data. So even if you change publish here, nothing changes. It, it'll change in the local instance because it's always connected to the local server. This is a local instance because it's server-side rendered in the local instance for us to show if it's working or not. But when we push this build to production, it'll always be getting the data from here. So let's just, what we're gonna do next is we're gonna push this to production. We just finished static site generation. Beauty, very easy, very fast. Now let's deploy this application to production. Okay, let's just do that. First of all, we'll go to Vercel. This is the first thing. Second of all, we'll set up, we need to set up Strapi. We need to push Strapi somewhere, right? So there are quite number of hacks you can do. So one thing that you can do is for Strapi, you can use the cloud version. All right, Strapi, go here and go to cloud. It's damn easy. Just create a new account and then create a project, save free. Then you can connect it to GitHub. So I'm just gonna connect this repository to GitHub first, and then let's just do that. GitHub to create a new repository. Call this Strapi. Yeah, Strapi. Alright, I'm gonna call that. I'm gonna make it public so you guys can access it. Okay, I'm gonna copy this over. I'm gonna go to Strapi, close this, hit mode, paste this here, and then I'm gonna commit this. First commit the save and push publish branch. Alright, right, let's refresh. It's working. We're gonna go down here and then select. I think I need to do a refresh. Let's just do a reload because it does not know if that new project has been queried or not. So now this particular project is available for you to just check it out. Yeah, let's just go here, add the account. Yeah, backend, display name. Gonna deploy. Yeah, I can. Whenever I do a commit in this particular branch, it gets deployed. Create project. So it's getting set up, it's getting initialized, and then you can actually start querying the data in the Strapi free plan itself. Yeah. So this is done. Now we need to set this particular website up for Vercel. So Vercel gives you a preset for React Router. It helps you with deployment very easily. We're just gonna copy that, and then we just need to say preset Vercel preset. Yeah, just go here, go to write config. Is it write config? No, it is React Router config, and then preset. Yeah, beautiful, right? And then now what we need to do is we need to create a new GitHub account for Vercel to know what packages are we. Is it? How do we add a new account? Is it plus here? Anyways, say React Router website. Okay, and then copy this again. We're gonna do git remote add origin and then this. Then git we're gonna do a commit. Then we're gonna commit this. And before we push this commit, you must be wondering what about this particular endpoints, right? The tokens and endpoints. That is, this is what we need to think about first, right? So you can get this work. This is where I said we can use the environment variables. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna say dot n here, and then we're gonna say endpoint, then we're gonna say API key. Yeah, copy this. API key as well. So for the code gen part, this thing is fine because we are using it locally to generate the types. We're not using it in production. So this thing is fine, but this thing we'll be using the particular tokens from production. So we can say processed on when endpoint, then we can say processed on when API key. Done. We'll get the endpoint and API key from processed on end, and that is it. So if you want to check if it's working, we're gonna do is we're gonna say yarn dev, just see if it is working or not. It's not working. Let's just go back, see if this is the issue. Or did we just kill? See if this is it. Okay. I think because we killed Strapi here. Recall this again. It's loaded, it's working now. Oh my god, we need to go back. Okay, press save. Yeah, it's working now. See? It's working. So we just need to push this. Before that, let's just go to Vercel. We just added, we're gonna create a new project here. And then we're gonna specify code website. And then I think we do need to update endpoint. Okay, add environment variables. Okay, let's just publish branch first of all because there's nothing here. So first cell does not know if it exists or not. Go back here again and then code now. Say Yakrata. Alright, environment variables. This is where we need to add the environment variables. Endpoint API key. Yeah, remember? The endpoint, so you might have been wondering, okay, this is we need to wait for like this to get deployed. Then once this is deployed, we need to get the endpoint. So let's do that. Wait for that to happen. I'll come back once this is deployed. Hi, so it is deployed. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna click this particular ID here. Oh yeah, it's visit app. Sorry. Click this visit app here, and then wait for it to load. Just gonna just add your details here because this is in production. I'm just gonna not do it live. I'm just gonna pause here one second. Okay, so I just added the email and password, and then this is what happened. Same instance, but it's in the cloud. Okay, sorry about that. So now if you go to content manager here, you can see there's a landing page thing. There's no data. So we're just gonna say, just gonna copy paste the same text here. Heading, right? We're just gonna publish, done. And then if we go to settings, we need to check if there was that it is plugins, GraphQL is enabled. Sure, for like enabled. And then we go to roles and then go to authenticated and then that's this is role. Is it taking so let me refresh. Something wrong with my internet. One second. Okay, it got loaded. Same thing over again. We're just gonna say find here plus save. Alright, that is done. We're gonna go here to API tokens, create, go to read only, click on this edit button, and then oh my god, taking so much time to load. Pause here again. One second, I'll be back. Yeah, I'm back. So read only. Just click regenerate, and then get the copy. Go to Vercel here, paste, and then API key. Okay, that's the one. Endpoint. What we need to do is we go here. You can see this is our endpoint. Go to Vercel, say slash graph. Let's check if GraphQL is available or not. The way you do that is just saying, I think it's available. So in production, what they usually do is they'll actually switch off Explorer. They'll just have this to show you if it's working or not. So you don't want people outside just trying to figure out what all mutations and queries that you have. That should not be allowed. This is paused during production. So now you have all the details and just click deploy. Now this particular project will get deployed and voila, you are a Strapi React Router loading expert. I'll just come back once this starts working. I'm gonna pause here for now. Hi guys, so After pressing that button, this is what popped up. It says congratulations, easy email automation and easiest text. Continue to dashboard. Done. I'm just gonna click this and see if it's working. Email automation as easy. So this is the text that is coming from go to content type landing page here. So when I press this, let's say I want to change this to hello world. Might be wondering, would this reflect in the production website? So if the answer is yes, you are wrong. The answer is no. Or somehow it is working. Why, how come is this working? Okay, there's seriously something wrong during deployment. Maybe that. All right, let's just check what has happened during build. So build happened, and then what is happening? Why was SSR true? I think what's happening is SSR is actually true here. So should we say pre-render like that? Can we say yarn build? Okay, so what's happening here is something wrong there. Not sure. We say pre-render true and it's false. We say that. Build it like that. Start. Is it not starting? Is it because of presets? Maybe that's an issue. Okay, very interesting set of problems. Okay, let's see. Build yarn. Oh yeah, maybe it's because build folder has okay. That is also how come querying the data? Not query the data, right? Wait a minute. So did I do something wrong here? Let's just close all these tabs. Don't need all that now. Localhost. Okay, so let's just go React router.com pre-rendering. Yeah. Okay, so pre-rendering Boolean 2 which pre-renders all the application static paths based on TS. Not include dynamic paths because the parameter values are unknown. To configure specific paths include need to perform more complex. So page are pre-rendered on path at time. You can enable concurrency to pre-render, but you should experiment with value provides. Pre-rendering can be used to do ASSR. Not true, the default value. Deployed static files are false. Training SSR true. Data loading and pre there's no extra application API for pre-rendering. Same Outlook. Yes. Okay, this is what we did. Of request coming through route deployed server, you build new request and wrap it. So rendering result. Okay, SSR false. Runtime server, but as pre-rendered some static page to avoid hitting loads. Set it as pre-render false. Right. And then if you want SR false but don't want pre-render all the routes, then that's fine too. We may have some paths. So this is most probably should work on dev. Let's see on dev work. Go from here. And then yarn build. Pre-rendered root and index. Fallback. Yarn start. Okay, there's some error with yarn start. Let's try to push this. Vendor fix. Right? Thing changes. So there'll be a new build happening in your cell. Check out the Strapi website. Deployments. Right. We had to wait for I think most probably 47 seconds. I'll come back when deployed. It got done in 39 seconds. Let's go overview. Click on this. Hello world. This is GGG. Okay, thank God. So it's not working now. So this should change when new deployment happens. We can actually trigger new deployment in our cell. Create deployment in. And then what needs to change is it GGG should be reflected here because data is getting captured only during deployment when deployment happens. I mean capture when I say capture I mean query. Can come back after 39 seconds. Okay, it took 43 seconds and then let's refresh. All right. So now the data is only getting generated when when what do you say when the Vercel is get the website is getting built during production. That's the beauty of it. So you might be wondering, so I need to go here and keep pressing this create deployment button and to get the new data? No. What you can do is the beauty of thing called webhooks, right? Create a new webhook and then you call this Vercel deployment and then URI So let's just see. Um, so we need to set up webhooks, right? So Vercel the webhook. Just gonna type that in. Gonna get this trigger deployments using Vercel deploy hooks, Strapi webhook. All right, just gonna scroll down. And, okay, so we did all this, right? Okay, deploy hooks. We need to go to settings, I guess, and then deployment git, yeah, and deploy hooks, Strapi CMS, that hook. All right, so copy this, yes, and then copy that. Create a new webhook here. Just go here, create, paste this URI, no key. So we need to specify my new entry is published, not saved, but published. See, when you say entry, it means like anything like landing page, you're changing the text. Remember changing the text, you press save and you press publish. So when you press publish, this deploy hooks need to get triggered, even if you do any media changes, but I don't think you need that. You press save, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go here, go to landing page, new publish text, and then rather than pressing save, when you press save, it won't get triggered. You need to press publish, because that is what we specified here in the webhook. Was that see here, and then now if you go to a cell, go here to deployments, a new build has been deployed, and then it shows up in your landing page when you do updates in your CMS. How beautiful, isn't it? Let's just wait for that to happen. Let's come back in a few minutes. All right, deployment worked, 38 seconds. Let's refresh. All right, new published text. Awesome. So we did deploy the application production with SSG. We set up webhook as well. And then new content is published, the website reloads, rebuilds again with data. So this is done. This is done. So now you have learned a lot of things. You've learned how to do deployments, how to set up GraphQL, query the data, set up API tokens. I don't think we learned much about databases, but if you're not using the Strapi Cloud version, you might have to start connecting database in any other particular system. That is all. And then that's it, guys. Please press like, subscribe, ask questions in the comments. Don't forget to share if any front-end folks who's created website need to set up Strapi, you can just quickly follow this and then get it done. If you want any other additional uh, based on public interest, I might show how to show blog post, maybe navbar items, and then if you want additional things like showing text, rendering text from Strapi. See, if you go here, I'll show you. Let's just say we'll create. I'm not sure. I'll do. Yeah, let's go here. Content type builder. Does it say in the landing page? Okay. So another thing is you can't do changes in production. You have to go here in local build and then do the changes. Only then it works because um, Strapi uses your local builds as a reflection in production. So you go here, you do the changes. So you can go here, content type. So I'm gonna add a new field here. And then can you see this particular rich text markdown? Let's say description, something about the website or real estate. Finish the description, right? And then if you go to, okay, we need to press save. Let's go to content manager. What I will need to show you, see, can you see this description? It has heading, has like bold text, hello, bold, and then italics, yeah, italic. This is markdown, right? And then you have this, you have numbers, things like that. You can add an image from the assets, maybe add links as well. You can do quotes. All right. If you go to the preview mode, it shows the preview of what are things you've done. And then if you want to get this reflected in the website, you need to use Strapi rich text React component. Is that what it is? I think it's the same. Yeah, you need to use block content. Is that what it is? I'm not sure. Block rent a client and then get the content from Strapi and then render that and it'll show up beautifully in your website if you're using React. So you need to do that as well. I just wanted to show you a quick digression, but that's it. So don't forget to share and subscribe. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Please like and comment and then let me know if you need anything else in this particular course. Bye. See you.